Hello, this is Gamer Pot Pie. I go by AOL Pot Pie online. I'm going to analyze a game played between the great Magyar, who is considered one of the top players today, like pretty much beating everyone, and against Spoeft, who here is called Expert Aggressor. And I think this game really shows the dominance Thor can have with high hunt on Ghost Lake over an ISIS player. So this match is Magyar, Expert Aggressor on Ghost Lake, Thor versus ISIS. I'm just going to try to explain some of the techniques and strategies that Magyar uses to demolish his longtime expert opponent. It's really instructional to watch Magyar's games. I'm going to try to break it down for you. Get to the game. Just going to pause right at the beginning, take you through step by step some of the good techniques that Magyar does here. First of all, he garrisons everything in his town center so that he can move everything to where he wants it to go really quickly. He can put his dwarves on gold, he can put his Wolfsark out to scouting, he can put his ox cart where it needs to go, by the food. So he's going to do that really quick. And yeah, like I said, so he scouts around, sends his goats to the town center, that's normal. And okay, so he didn't start with starting hunt, right? He had no hunt in his line of vision. So it's very important that just now he found a boar. As we all know, hunt gathers a lot faster than berries do, and we want to gather all of our hunt before we gather any berries. He's going to transfer his villager and his ox cart over to kill the boar. And that's going to give him a really good, nice starting supply of food. You always want to find your starting hunt as soon as possible. And Magyar was lucky he found it. It was right there. Okay, so he's going to keep scouting with his Wolfsark. Pretty soon he's going to have to put down a house, but not yet. And you see how he uses his ox cart to block the boar from getting at his villager? That's a good technique because the ox cart can sustain damage a lot better than a villager does. The villager doesn't have to move, so if you're moving a villager, you're losing one more villager of arrow fire to kill the boar. And he does research hunting dogs. That's really common in Thor build, and when he gets the favor from killing this boar, he's going to research Pig Sticker, which is a nice upgrade that will make villagers like 5 times stronger against hunt, and also allow them to gather slightly faster. Okay. So you can see him moving his ox cart around so it takes less damage, and the boar dies, and he puts his ox cart really close to his to the boar's carcass, so that the villagers don't have to walk very far. Find some goats, send them back to the town center, and he's continuing to scout. The villager, he's just making sure they all go to food. He's trying to make sure he'll have enough 50 food for that next villager coming up, so he's food dropping to force that he has 50 food down here for another villager, and there's no idle TC time, town center time. And he does go straight for a second Wolfsark in this case. And the reason he goes for that, some players may think it wastes time by making another Wolfsark, and that's true. You are losing out on time you could be using to spend on a villager training, but it's also very important that you scout productively your opponent's base. And this is 2 Wolfsarks enables you to scout your opponent's base because you need to make a temple in reasonable time, you need to make a house in reasonable time, and it's hard to do that and scout all the way at the other side of the map, your opponent's base. So 2 Wolfsarks allows you to split them up, and one of them does the building and scouts around your own base, while the other one scouts around your opponent's base. And it's important to see not only what resources you have, but what your opponent resources are also. So yeah, he's researching Pig Sticker, that's 100 gold and 1 favor. I think he just force dropped to get make sure he had enough food for another villager. It's very important not to have idle TC time at any point early in the game. And yeah, he doesn't have any idle TC time. He's microing his goats back to his town center, and he's scouting with 2 Wolfsarks in the middle of Ghost Lake. There are often a lot of goats in the middle region, and also there are a lot of relics in there. So actually Spoeft in this game will find a relic in the middle, and we're not going to go over the ISIS side too much because I don't really know too much about it. But just know that there are usually relics near the center of the map in Ghost Lake, and lots of goats in the center also. So it's not, you know, even though you can't build there and there's not usually too much hunt other than bears, there are a lot of goats in the middle, so it is worth scouting. And but I mean, Magyar's not scouting it in particular. He just wants to see, have one Ulfsark go up and scout his opponent's base, really. Okay. Okay, so he sees the priest. It's very important when you see the priest that you attack it as soon as possible, because later on it could bite you in the ass. If you have a priest that's putting up a lot of obelisks around your base, you want to search for those obelisks, because you know, the god power combination ancestor eclipse could pop up at any point where your opponent's line of sight. And those obelisks give you pretty big line of sight around them. So if your hunters are in the line of sight of an obelisk and the Isis has just reached heroic age, you could be in big trouble due to an ancestor eclipse attack on your hunters. And if you lost your 7 hunters to ancestor eclipse, you could be screwed for the whole game. Your economy wouldn't be able to take it, and the Isis player would have a nice advantage. So he's going to go to try to attack this priest as soon as possible. And see, he does move his Ulfsark, his bottom Ulfsark, down to attack. And he prevents this obelisk building by attacking with a villager too. Priests are weak. They died almost anything. Really, even a set animal, set hyena kills a priest. And they're very slow too. They're kind of weak units, so. And he's going to use both of his Ulfsarks to make sure this priest goes down. But it looks like Spoth has his Pharaoh here to defend, and a Pharaoh plus a priest will beat 2 Ulfsarks. Good thing to know. Oh, by the way, I should comment on the build order that Magyar is using. He's using 7 villagers to food, and then 5 to wood, and then 5 dwarves to gold. It's a very effective build order, and it'll enable him an advanced time around 5 minutes with a very balanced economy. Yeah, so, okay, he's going to make another stab, see if the priest is still there. It is, and the Pharaoh is still there, so he's going to have to back off here, but he's going to get some good hits on the priest. And another thing you'll notice he's doing is microing his wood villagers. He's putting 2 on the first tree, but then once there's 2 on there, he starts another tree, because you want to spread out your villagers. You don't want to make them all gather from the same tree, because it's not as efficient. Alright. Still looking for that priest. Wants to make sure it's not still hanging around building obelisks. It's very important to stop this ancestor eclipse combination later on in the game. Alright, so he's getting ready to build a temple. He needs to build one around now. So he builds it right next to a tower. Yeah, so right now he's just finding a bunch of hunt. And that's a big find for him, because that means he's going to be like economically secure for a long time with all that hunt. It will last long into the game, and it is kind of close to his town center, but it's also a little bit out, so he's going to have to protect it a bit, but it's going to be well worth it to have all that hunt over here and over here. It's going to be a lot of hunt. Okay, and then, you know, the 7-5-5 deal that I was talking about earlier. First you send 1 villager to this gold mine so that it will expire quicker, and then you put dwarf onto the gold. It's common. Okay, so now he's still, like, he got interrupted because he saw the priest, so he sent his Ulfsark back, but now he's going to send this one to continue its original plan of scouting his opponent's base. He wants to see the opponent's resources. He already sees these boars here, and he's going to check on them periodically to see if they're being hunted. In Age of Mythology, you can select a unit and see if it has HP to see if it's being hunted or not. Alright. So yeah, he's advancing now. It's about a 503 advance. It takes a while for Archaic Age Ulf to kill this obelisk. Not too long though. Magyar thinks it's worth it here. I might have just gone straight for the scouting of the town center, but he takes out the obelisk. It didn't take too long actually. It took like 10 seconds. Okay, so he's going for this relic. It's a black lotus that increases your farming. And